I want to thank our law enforcement partners, our criminal justice partners as well, and most of all, our citizens. Over the last couple of weeks, we have had some great success working with each and every one of them to affect and make various arrests. Over the last 2 weeks, we've had 14 homicides over the last 2 weeks in the city of New Orleans, 6 of which have been cleared by arrest and or warrant. Year to date, we're at 122 homicides this year compared to 103 same time last year. Right now, I hope I don't jinx myself by saying this or jinx our department or our city, but right now we're on the verge again of seeing a consecutive month in decrease of homicides compared to the same time last year. Right now we have a 57% solve rate. I want to highlight two particular arrests that we made over the last 2 weeks. Joshua Blanchard was arrested on July 22nd by our VOWS unit as well as our partners at the U.S. Marshals for a homicide that occurred on July 11th in the 1800 block of St. Anthony. He also had a couple of warrants for non-fatal shootings that occurred earlier this month as well. Preston Higgs was arrested on July 23rd for a homicide that occurred on March 4th in the 1200 block of Desire. He was located in Indiana and has since been extradited back here to New Orleans. So we continue to see success within our homicide unit, specifically as well with our cold case. We've solved 9 cases this year, a cold case. That is almost double what we've done over the last couple of years collectively. So our detectives remain committed, and as always, we ask if you have additional information to contact our homicide division at 504-658-5300 or Crime Stoppers at 504-822-1111. A little bit on non-fatal shootings. Over the last 2 weeks, we've had as many as 24 reported non-fatal shootings, 10 of which have been cleared. 7 of those resulted in an arrest. Year to date, we've had 292 shootings. Of those, 106 have been cleared, or 36% solve rate. 84 of these resulted in an arrest. In many of our homicide shootings, what we have seen or what we are noticing is domestic disputes that are resulting in a violent ending. In the last few weeks, we've seen 3 domestic-related homicides and 2 domestic-related non-fatal shootings. So we continue to see this trend, and we're asking our citizens to, do their due diligence and self-care, have some awareness with regards to your mental capacity. We need to do a better job at trying to address or de-escalate situations or conflicts so that they do not result in a violent ending as what we have been seeing lately. Armed robberies, we've had 8 armed robberies and 15 carjackings in the last 2 weeks, with 7 clearances made in armed robberies and 2 in carjackings. Year to date, we cleared 100 of our 206 reported armed robberies and 39 of our 141 carjackings. These numbers are numbers in which we developed from our CAD, our computer-assisted dispatch unit, and when I give them, I just want everyone to understand sometimes it may be off, higher or a little lower here and there, and that is based on the approval of the supervisors upon them confirming the context or the elements of the crime when they are documenting these reports. Guns off the streets. Over the last 2 weeks, we've confiscated as many as 90 guns off the streets of New Orleans, 23 gun arrests of those 90 guns. Year to date, 1,134 guns have been confiscated through 415 gun arrests. What we've also identified is individuals filing false police reports with armed carjackings. That is something that we would not tolerate, that would not be accepted. Our detectives continue to do their due diligence in conducting a thorough investigation. So what we've had over the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 incidents in which we were able to confirm and identify individuals who have filed false reports. Year to date so far, we have as many as 13 cases in which individuals have filed false reports. So what I need the community to understand is when you file these false reports, you're taking resources away from our true victims, where we need to focus every effort that we can, every resource that we have on the true victim. So again, we're not accepting, we will not tolerate, and we will arrest you if you continue to file false police reports, as we have done already. When we talk about violent crime, and we talk about what we are doing about this and how we're working with our partners in the criminal justice system, our community is just as much a partner as any other component of the criminal justice system. So I just want to highlight this one particular event that we had on July 17th. Our first district community action team, our DCAT team, was on a walking beat near the intersection of St. Louis and North Galvez when they were flagged down by a citizen, a concerned citizen, about an individual who was armed and arguing with other individuals, I would say. Upon the officers responding to that, they located this individual. He then fled from the officers. After a brief foot pursuit, the officers were able to arrest this individual who was in possession of a rifle. I would say it that way. He was in possession of a rifle, and he was already wanted for possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. So he was arrested for a felon being in possession of a firearm while he was also wanted for that same charge. So Calvin Banks was then transported to OJC, where he is properly booked. But what I want to say is that it is events like this that shows the cooperation. I've asked that if you see something, say something, and you are doing just that. And I want to thank you, the community, for bringing to our attention a possible violent offender who would have possibly used that to harm someone. So again, we must work together to ensure the safety of our city. Next, I want to mention the fact about the report of the Metropolitan Crime Commission. I have received that report, and I want to thank the Metropolitan Crime Commission for that report. And we receive and we will address the recommendations as best as possible. We are always open to constructive criticism as well as suggestions. We understand our current situation regarding us being understaffed as a department, and we continue to assess, adjust as necessary, and redeploy as necessary on a daily basis, while also continuing to work with our criminal justice partners. But I would also like to mention the fact of how hard we work with our Mayor LaToya Cantrell, in addressing the issues or the challenges that we have as a department. We continue to look at ways in which we can improve our technology. We continue to work with the mayor and administration with regards to ways in which we can improve our recruitment. She has committed and has always been committed to public safety being her top priority throughout her administration. So in closing, I just want to, again, have our citizens well informed of what the New Orleans Police Department is doing and how we continue to pursue these individuals who are committing these violent crimes. As you've heard today, we've made several arrests. We're continuing to obtain warrants, and we're continuing to solve cases. While it may seem slight, we have seen a slight decrease in violent crime over the last couple of weeks as well as the last couple of months. Also, I want to stress, reiterate that we will not accept, we will not tolerate individuals filing false police reports. And I want to say again, thank you to the Metropolitan Crime Commission for their report. With that being said, last thing, I just want to let the community know that we are using every resource that we have, force multipliers with our criminal justice partners, to ensure that we are maximizing every tool in the toolbox to ensure the safety of our citizens as well as our visitors. With that, Aaron, I'll answer any questions that anyone may have.
Can you say the reason why you're seeing a trend with the decrease? Like what efforts or what practices the department's put in place to see the decreases, I guess, of homicides over the last 2 months?
Well, I mean, I think it's a variety of things. I think one, it would start with our deployment. We had just mentioned that about the DK unit doing a walking beat, was flagged down by a citizen. So that is one strategy, how we're being more active and engaged in the community in itself. I think the criminal justice system, you're starting to see some things happen within the system in itself that are holding individuals more accountable. You know, I won't go into the details of everything, but Operation Golden Eagle has played a significant part, has had a significant role in a lot of our ability to address violent crime.
What are some of the obstacles on recruiting new officers?
Again, this is not anything that is unique to New Orleans. Unfortunately, you know, we as an occupation, law enforcement professionals have faced the challenges over the last year of individuals not being interested in being police officers any longer. So we have seen a 50% decrease in our applications. And we average 400 to 500 applications pre-George Floyd per month. Now we're averaging 240, 250. So we just have to be creative as to how we can incentivize individuals to join this honorable profession and be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem.
So what are you going to do to convince people they should be police officers? You're the good guys.
So we're working with, you know, various members of the community to show that, first of all, New Orleans Police Department is well ahead of the game with regards to constitutional policing. And we talk about what is going on across the country and the questions that are being raised with regards to law enforcement. We don't have those issues here. So I think that is our selling ticket, to let everyone know that here in New Orleans, we are a constitutional police department with transparency, with a certain level of trust from our community. Yes.
How did y'all realize y'all starting to see a trend with the carjackings?
What do you mean, a trend?
People following false reports with the
It was just something that kind of stuck out. You know, we just realized that over the last 2 weeks, again, you had two individuals we had to address the colony with regards to filing that false report. So then we went to look back at how many others, and we identified 13 cases in which we did. And then it's not just carjacking, I would say that. We had a couple of shootings in which individuals falsely gave false accounts of how a shooting occurred when they were actually perhaps shot by a family member who negligently handled the weapon, as opposed to them just walking up the street saying that they heard gunfire and they were struck, as they would normally say. So I commend the men and women of our police department who conduct a thorough investigation to determine if these are real crimes that have occurred and how to address them from there. All right. Thank you again.